here and getting all the cameras to start working properly. I'm Brenda Power, Brenda Jean Power, a medicine woman, and I'm here to do Medicine Women Solution, the show. And this is to help you. I want you to become empowered. I want you to feel that, yes, you can receive answers. And I want you to feel that you're not helpless. This is why there's a lot of healing tools. This is why the healing tools work in such a way, especially when you are taking knowledge and putting knowledge with it to help you move forward in your path. So just recently, I have started with my my classes. Now, I'm building them. So I have these trial class where people come in, and so far it's getting all of those little details, those little annoying details, so that you can make it work. But then you have to cooperate with other people and get that to work. You can't hear anything? Oh no, that's not good. If anybody else can hear me? Wonder what happened to something happen to my volume, everybody? So we'll do a sound check first. Barbara, Terrence, if you're there, who's here? Who can hear me? Can anybody hear me here on the fan page? Hello? Anyone can hear me? Anyway. You can always jump on YouTube. No volume. Oh, geez, oh, Pete. What is taking and sucking the volume? Oh, this is bizarre. This is very bizarre. There shouldn't be any audio issues. All I did this morning was try to use my recorder. I got it. No, that's not it. That's working fine. How about now? Huh. Yeah, nobody needs to see me working on this for the next 10 minutes. Okay. I'm going to have to, I will come back. I have to shut down. What does all this mean? Okay, so Danny can hear me through the phone. Anybody in YouTube land, can you hear me? Delete video, confirm. Something's not right with my audio. Not sure what's going on with sound check. Something is taking the audio. I did a sound check earlier. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Let's see what happens with that. Oh, no, I can't get it to work. Okay, people. Hi, Teresa. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I am trying to get my other fan page to work, and all of a sudden they said my audio is not working on my bigger computer. Not sure exactly what's happening there. On this Facebook, it's working. On this one, it's not. And it's like, what is it I can't be heard? What can't be heard? Now, it's important to look at, we have all of these little details. The only thing I did different this morning was to set up learning how to record on my computer. I had my headphones plugged in, but they're no longer plugged in. I have unplugged them. So how do you reset the audio? This is where you're just like, what's happening? Sound effect. Wow. Whole thing is messed up. Microphone. Says the microphone's working here, but not on the other one. Oh, I'm just not. This is what happens when you pick up everybody's stuff. This is where you have to recenter. Now, I would like to be human, just lose my shit, but then I have to just say, okay, there's an answer. There's an answer somewhere. Something very, something is causing this not to work properly. And now I'm looking to see what's going on. And this says that it's picking up, but it's not. I wonder if there's a distortion with the camera. Is that even better? Better? Nothing. The microphone's picked up there. So it could be just one of those things that happen. You know what? It could be just Facebook itself today. I'm going to try it again. Can't even get Amy on. It's like, what the heck? At least some people are ready. That's what's important. Some people are here. Some people are ready. That's a good thing. We'll try it one more time. I did that, Danny, and yeah, I did the auto setting, and it said that it was picking up my microphone fine. That's why I'm like, what's happening? Because something totally does seem different. Join with video. This just doesn't make any sense to me. I did all that typing. I'm done typing. That just drives you nuts when that happens. Okay, so I'm back up, and I don't know if it's got a good feed or not. We'll find out, and I have to wait for people to join the room. We'll see what happens. This is just crazy. Anyway, can't cut that crap out. I appreciate you being here. I really do. So again, I'm Brenda Power, Medicine Woman. What is happening? I do not know. Okay, so this fan page up here can see and hear me. Anybody that's new, Kevin, Chelsea, anybody that's in that fan page, can you hear me now? The volume on audio quit working. Have no idea why. Still no sound. Oh, jeez. What is going on with this? Okay, be back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just restart it. There should be nothing wrong with this very expensive computer, if you know what I mean. Task manager. Spiritually speaking, it's like you can't really ever multitask. You can micromanage. A multitask is taking the brain and being able to do several things at once. Whereas from my understanding of micromanaging is that you can do what I'm doing is boom, 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 going here and there. Being able to talk, being able to do what I can do. So we'll see what happens to this restart. Hopefully you all having a good day. We had a great start yesterday on the classes. And I went over the 40 minutes because I had a free segment on Zoom. I think I might have been able to find a way to be able to do classes on Google and still record on what I need to record on. Amy, are you having volume? Nope. Hold on. Volume issues. It's either I'm not looking, listening. Well, okay, so I got one computer that works. I have the other one. I have no clue if it's working. I got the iPad that now there's audio. And now the big computer, we're going to see if that works. And all I did this morning was to try to figure out a way to record my screen in game mode. Now, I think maybe after I reboot, then I should have my sound back so that it's not in game mode. That these are all these little tiny things. I just have to get a microphone so that you can hear me, which I will do when I get to the store. Don't know when that will be. Amy, so how are you today?
I've been better, but I'm all right.
And we're going to find out. So ever since I tried to do something this morning, it just did not work. It's like I have to sacrifice the one if I want the other. That's what it looks like, but that should not have to be. And I'm not even going to type nothing in. I'm just going to say go live and see what happens. It takes too long to figure that out. So it's to find steps. Yep, I got up this morning and got, quite a bit done. So the academy, the Medicine Woman Academy, is underway. The paid part of it will be happening soon. Now people are popping into the room. Barbara, Virginia, anybody that, do I have volume yet? Anybody can hear me? I don't want to have to wait and keep doing this and come back in a half hour. But I might have to.
I think so, because I've got my volume on my phone turned all the way up. And
still nothing?
Nothing.
Okay, it had to do with when I was messing with the... So how do I get out of game? Apparently I don't have game. Oh, this is funny. This is so funny, I'm going to cry. Okay. Jump onto, what's the link? Okay, I got to find the link. I got to go over to the fan page. I'm on Medicine Woman Solutions. I believe that is correct. And we'll just do the show from there. Spirit has a plan. That's the way I'm looking at it. Okay.
One with one eyeball?
What's that?
The one with one eyeball?
No. Just a minute. I'm getting it. I got to focus. I have to focus here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send people here. Send you people there. Jump to that. See what happens. Before I close that, I will jump over here. And then I'll have to figure out, everybody's going to be on my tiniest, littlest screen possible. Isn't that just fascinating? How can you do a show like this? Out with the old. Oh, good one. Yeah, it's. Didn't I say that yesterday, Betty? It's all these learning curve here. Everything's in transitioning in my house, and why not this too? Why not this too? So I'll jump to this one. I just have to let people know where I'm at. Okay, paste. Doing show from this fan page. And I'm going to have to give up the big computer today. Yay me! Interesting. So if some of you come in with karmic debt, this is what's going to happen. The planetary alignment sometimes is going to F you over. Supposedly changing your name, using your name in the numerology sense, in Brenda Power. The old tradition of wearing a black horseshoe ring on the middle finger on the right hand. These are superstitions, or were they old traditions? Understanding that old traditions are very, very important to okay. It is very much, it's interesting because it's not superstitions on some things, and this is where it gets very confusing. Old stuff is coming to the surface. All the things that have been, what do you want to refer to as, it's funny, I'm not sure how I want to say that. Because it's different, it's strange, it's noise. Hold on. Spirit has got my attention. Amy, this is where I would need you to talk for a few minutes and let people hear. Talk about what happened with you this morning. You had a migraine, and then did you take care of it and start using the healing tools yourself? How did you do this, Aim?
I did. I woke up with kind of just what I call a half-assed headache. It wasn't bad. It wasn't, anything that would stop me from doing anything all day. And as the day progressed, it got worse. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to bother Brenda because I know she's busy. I can take care of this myself. And I have an app on my phone with all of the meridians.
Right.
And went in and, okay, these points. So I used my zapper, my meridian zapper.
I love this. Yes.
I love it. And there were, I think, 4 points on my forehead and my hands and my feet. And I took care of it and within 10 minutes for a good, hour. But then I got up and went and did something and came back and sat down and oh my God.
It came back?
It came back and it's back now.
Okay. So did you take and use the magnet on the points I referred to?
I did.
And okay. So you have to then, this is where you have to involve a physical aspect a little bit more. Your body needs to flush out a few things. This is where I would use apple cider vinegar and lemon juice and with water. Okay, make a nice concoction, drink that down, and you'll start flushing the things you need to flush. It actually can change my resting pulse rate to be better than my heart, and I can feel it. My breathing changes, and I just feel like I have an overall energy. At the same time, your polarity is completely off, and they say it's because of lung, thyroid, heart, your heart meridian. And I asked you earlier if there was something particular that you had said or done. And it's like, you're like, not that I can think of. I'm just having life. And there's, well, did you have an oh my God moment? No, this is the past. But you did have an epiphany. Something about 5 years old, you always pick up people's resonating broadcasts. What I noticed in the last few days was that, okay, I see Amy and she's a soul. I love her. But I noticed when I looked down at her, all of a sudden it was like I could hear that there should be criticism coming out of my mouth. And I'm thinking, but that's not me. And I've been contemplating that, asking Spirit to talk to me about it. And so they said, well, Do you have thoughts about your weight? Do you like your weight or hate your weight?
I hate my weight.
You hate your weight. Number one, energy, where attention goes, energy flows. So she hates her weight. And can I say you probably don't like just the fact, it's pretty much all of you, yes, but mainly it's around in the gut area that seems to be the energy. Okay, so when I looked and one spirit got my attention, I looked again, and what I noticed was that she focuses on parts of her body she hates. We all do this. And if you pay attention, you know, she'll obsess about certain areas of the body. We all do this. And guess what? People pick that up. It's a resonating broadcast that comes from you. Now, yours has increased just in this last week because every time I got on, I'm talking to you and I say, what the hell is what I'm looking at? Now, had I not paid attention, I wouldn't have noticed that the 41 thoughts per minute, some of them were aimed at you looking at my projection, okay? How simpler terms, okay, I'm being human. Oh God, I wish she would lose weight. Oh God, I wish that, you know, if you just lost some weight. So I feel like other people's words are stuck on your body now, because when I'm looking, not only are you thinking your own shit, but you're picking up people in your environment. So during Christmas, did anybody complain about your weight?
Not that I can remember. I really wasn't.
What about when you were 5 years old?
That could very well be.
Okay, because this is what's called an active memory. Why come up? Why should it come up now? You said you were 48 or something like that. Yes. Why should it come up now? Because your soul's asking you to heal something in a very particular way. Okay. How you know what you need to heal? Because the shit will just show up. But it's so subtle. Oh, it's just a headache. Oh. How would you even put those together? Well, that's where you do in spiritual investigation, or you have somebody like me that comes along and can help you. So they're saying that there's a resonating broadcast. And if I ask if it's from you, they go, no. How about is it towards you? No. Is it from somebody in the past? And it's what you do toward yourself to pull away from it. So somebody insulted you, and there's a part of you that put a guard up that says, I don't want to hear that. And so then your body seems to be a buffer. Now she's moving into a lot of healing states. What does that mean? What that means is that she's dropping herself into, I'm going to heal this, I'm going to do this and do this, intentional living. As she begins to create herself, what happens? She'll move into a particular space that simply is going to say, oh, your vibration and your frequency is changing. Well, you want the frequency higher so your body will be healthier. And the other part is simply this, Amy, it's time for you to move forward in your life. What does that even look like? Okay. And that's a very good question. But if you don't realize that life is constantly happening inside of you, your chances of healing, reviewing the past, your brain doesn't really want to predict the same stuff all the time. And your soul always wants you to heal something in particular. But what does that even mean? Okay. What does that even mean? And that is where you have to look at the aspect of you. You can't just get up and be a program. If you're intentionally and actively living every day, you can live in constant response, and without realizing it, she's not, oh, God, I'm taking offense all day. She's come to the point where she's learning to watch her language, learning how she's responding, but she's not knowing that she's hit a stage of intrinsic knowing, which means you're getting deeper in those like very fine areas, that it's your body's responding to the environment, but you don't see nothing, you don't hear anything that you define as loud, obnoxious, oh my God. But now this is where triggers come in. And these triggers are saying, oh, look, That's where my dad fell. Oh, look, this is where I got yelled at. Oh, look, this is where I was insulted at. You live in the house you grew up in. You are healing your shit, but you're healing it into a backwards position, which means you are heal this one and you go back. You heal this one, it goes back. Even though you may have healed something at 4 or 5, you are healing in reverse, but you're gaining the wisdom from it. Now you're ready to work on a very deeper level, if that makes any sense.
It does.
It does. Very good. And so what does all that mean? It means that you get to pay attention in a whole new way. How does she respond with indifference? How does she respond with physically shutting herself down? Does that sound familiar?
Oh, yeah. But
So,
I knew that having the headache was, a trigger to shut down. And I purposely did not shut down.
aha. But you, okay, say that again. Pay attention to what you said. Say it again.
I knew that having this headache was normally I would just shut down, go back to bed and, just kind of.
So her symptom is the headache. Her response is always been the program, which is to go shut down is to go to sleep. It is to check out. Okay. She decides, I'm not going to do that. Okay. If she's not going to go to sleep, what's another way to get her? What is another way to get her to get that end result she's looking for? Does this make sense? What is this end result? So what was the end result of getting a headache and going to bed?
I would probably wake up 3 days later without a headache.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-day response. And why would you do this for 3 days? And they say, what do you want to avoid? Yes. What do you want to avoid? You want to avoid.
I asked myself that today. What am I wanting to avoid? Because I kind of felt achy.
Okay.
I don't like the flu, but not that. Just everything just kind of felt a little off. That makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. So listen to the steps of the symptoms. See, this is where I would tell her to write it down. Okay. And if she writes it down, then she can become aware of all those little intrinsic ways to avoid something. Now, according to this, you had a big, oh my God, experience at 5. Okay. What happened? What year was it? You already know where you were living. What was it?
When I was 5?
Yeah. Did somebody die? Did you get insulted by a boy? Did you start school?
I started school.
Okay. And then what?
Let's see. I wonder if that's the year that somebody shot my cat.
Aw. That's not good.
No, it wasn't. That was after that.
Okay.
I don't know. My brother could have been sick. I honestly don't really remember.
Okay. That's all right. Now, this is where you do a live meditation. What's been going on in your space with the rings out? Who are the people? Who are the animals? Who has it? What have you been seeing? What is like the main theme that you have that's going on at like the TV shows? What do you know, like with music and with TV shows, you gravitate to one genre versus another?
I had football on yesterday, and I had on the world's worst cooks today.
Food. Does it have to do with
Bob
food?
Marley.
What's Bob always saying? What's he saying to you about?
Reggae.
Okay, but what's he singing? What's his topic?
Everything's gonna be all right.
Okay, so you comforting. Comfort food, comfort songs. Okay, so now what is she not seeing? And this is where I would say then, Spirit, you would have to show her. What does she need comforts from? And they say the panic. And if I say, what is the panic? And they say letting go of and being deprived of. And people just can't tolerate you. What does that mean? That's interesting. What does that mean? What in the past did you ever feel like people couldn't tolerate you?
All the time.
Okay, since you're aware of this, what does this mean?
I'm not sure.
What couldn't they tolerate about you?
It was not having the right name.
What do you mean?
In tone. I mean, there's certain this tone is so clicky. It's horrible.
Last name, first name, what?
Last name.
Which one, Jensen or Schmalz?
Johnson.
And what was wrong with Jensen?
It wasn't one of the what's the word I'm looking for? One of the like the cool people, the rich people. You know.
Did they deliberately go out of their way?
Oh yeah, everybody did. It was horrible. I mean, even my parents.
Okay.
And they were prominent on Main Street.
Okay.
And my brother was a track star. My other brother was the manager because he had heart problems, and he would have loved to have been.
All right. Well, in this case, we're just going to have you hold R1S. She already has an idea of what it is. And if she's going to talk about it, why waste it? Which means she needs to put her hand on her head. So one of the things that karma for me is that I have to give up what I have to do and give it to everybody else. That's part of my karma. I have to bow down to that, to which is supposed to get my attention the most, and devote my time around it. I am fully aware of what this karma thing is for me. And I find it very fascinating that my spiritually, I'm standing back and I can't see the screen. I know I have new people in the room. They would love a reading. I would love to give you a reading, but I am now having issues even further. So do I quit? Do I say, F it? No. I need to learn from this. I need to understand what is going on. So one, you can look at your reactions. Two, you got to be more mindful of how do you want to put it? What do you think? what are those little quiet things that you think? What are those things that happen? And then, and people are asking, like, what is the karmic lesson around the twin flame? Lessons are going, like, she's got this lesson. Karmic lessons, to some degree, is also something that you've carried forward from many lifetimes. You have to begin to pay attention to how they control your world. You have to begin to pay attention to what is it that, like in this case, why is something hijacking my computer? Is it a virus, or was it something that I turned on innocently enough just to be able to hit record? And the thing that popped up was, now I'm stuck with a thing that doesn't know how to use the microphone. It literally is waiting for me to use a microphone. It's waiting for the next piece because I've got something new coming in, something old going out, and it's not working. Do you understand? These problems in life have a lot to do with what's also going on with our ability to have self-esteem, our ability to trust that the universe is going to work out in your favor, even though bad shit looks like it's happening. Now, I can tell you, see, I'm asking Spirit right now, if this is it, if this, like for this computer, if there's the reason that this expensive computer is not working, is it because a particular program I did yesterday? If that's it, so be it. That means something's going to click, something is going to come in. And getting into the alignment of our timing versus the timing of Spirit. Okay. A lot of things people don't understand is that we have our timing. And this is where being patient will come into play. Like, I know there's people on that one fan page that want me to come back, but they also can find that I'm 2 other places. I'm in YouTube. I don't see anybody there. I think some of them have come over to this fan page, which is good. But what pieces are we missing? Do we just say, F it and give in and throw in the towel? That's like you've seen the meme where people are digging in the mine, they're looking for the diamond mine, and then they're just like inches away from finding that diamond. But so much wears on us and pushes us to make us believe that, okay, you know what? I'm losing hope. This ain't going to happen. She's never going to give me a reading. She's just like the rest of them. Now, a lot of you know that that's not true, but the new ones don't know this. What does that mean? That means that you have to, are you asking for something, demanding it? Are you feeling frustrated? Like, I will get on and I will wait for a card, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm never going to. I can hear all of these thoughts that so many people go through. And then if I don't watch it, I'm going to lose my strength, and I'm going to follow along with the broadcast of that room. Okay? And if you want more than one card, then I would say donate. But there's no way I can put anything on that wall to tell you how to go under PayPal to do it. So there's nothing I can do except for the fact is if you can get into PayPal and you go under B, as in Brenda, B, Power, POWER, .MW at dr.com, then you go into PayPal, you should be able to then put in a donation if you want more than one card. So, but then I have to go, okay. Julie says, Julie Stat says, can I have a card? First time here. Love a reading, please. And, and I'll tell you, you got to learn to breathe. It says the breath is the vital bridge between your body and your soul. It's a connection between the inside and the outside, connecting you to the universe, spirit, and the divine source. The breath permeates your entire being with prana, with that chi, with your personal life force. And if you are not breathing, I know a lot of people are just shallow breathers. You, one, depriving your body. Two, you're depriving your the energy that comes to you, because without realizing it, if you're holding your breath for something to happen, then you're telling the universe you don't believe it. If you are shallow breathing and you're in panic, then you're telling the universe, I'm not done being panicked yet. And you are to embrace the moment, okay? But these are just cards. And they're telling you to embrace a moment. If Julie Stats really wanted to work on her stuff, then she has to look at how does she handle overwhelm? Overwhelm just comes in and penetrates. There's always an overwhelm. There's always this something going on where you're overwhelmed. Julie, I would tell you to learn, oh my God points. Just doing this here alone. Why the fuck would that just work? Keep it there while you're thinking of your shit, while you're feeling overwhelmed, and breathe. And you keep it there and you breathe and you keep it there and think and you feel and be in your shit, be in that moment. And what will happen is the body will start processing that moment and the thoughts will calm down, the emotions will calm down, and you'll begin to feel better. And then your questions that you're asking, you're going to finally start getting answers to. Does this make any sense? Okay. And you got Michelle Bromley. Card is always good, but there's something it is to do with love. You're petrified of love. And I say, what? They're saying when you were 2 years old, somebody yelled at you. Somebody made it all about themselves and used you. A simple fact that, like, for instance, the situation in my life is that my kids trusted this somebody that was supposedly family, and all they wanted to do was to get in good with mom and dad, and they used my kids behind my back when they were at school in order to get the gains they wanted. And then when it backfired, they were yelling at my kids and blaming my kids. And when I started to find out how they did this, it broke my kids' heart. This supposedly person that loved them. It was like, what the? So take it as a kid. And when we take those things in emotionally, they can really mess you up because they are the foundation of how you do things. And Michelle, you have the family on the other side says that we will be together again. What does that mean from the afterlife? Oh, does that mean I'm going to die? No. When the situation between people, human, and that frequency that they're on, if you're holding pain and suffering and guilt, you are having the vibration that actually stops them from connecting with you. They would like you to heal the pain. I mean, EFT, hope therapy. Hope therapy is great. I would tell you hold a point just to take care of that sadness. Like I told Amy that she needs to hold a point, that she can go into that particular thing and help herself in such a way, how can you do this? How can you can do this. You have to be aware of the simple little, how do you want to put it? The simple little things that happen, you have to begin to become aware. You have to begin to become aware of what's happening. And when you can do this, you can allow yourself to use a tool that calms things down. And when that begins to calm down, the right brain, that connection to spirit, connecting to your authentic self, no matter how much emotion that you have, this is going to start bringing in spirit ideas, a way to think your way out of a paper bag, a way to allow yourself that, wow, you mean, wow. Yes, you can allow yourself to enter a space and you can literally allow more information about how to change things. How you can allow yourself to move in a space where you might actually see the answer. Because when you are using spirit to see the answer, you'll get it. But if you're using your ego to try to solve the problem with the same ego that created the problem, what do you think you're going to get? Now, Julie, did you even get the card? Did you even know I was talking to you? Michelle Bromley, did you notice that? What are your responses that I gave to you? Did you hear? Did you hear what I had said? Hopefully you did, and hopefully you can tell me if what I said was important, because I know it's important. But if I can't translate it properly, what good is it? Yes. Did it make sense, Michelle? Did it make sense? Because it's important to begin to aware it simply is just important to become aware of your life. It's important to understand you do not have to be the victim and being helpless, because when you're helpless, it changes everything. It changes the way that it just changes. She was, I got it about the ego, and I know I must use my connection with spirit for my own life. Very good. But can you see when ego just comes in, that ego mindset pops in and takes over, And do you feel confident that there is tools to help you so you don't have to feel helpless? That's a very important thing, is to know that you have a way out of this. Because if you don't realize there's a way out of this, then you're not going to be able to take that next adventure. You're not going to be able to allow yourself to advance in where you want, and you're going to be hitting walls. Okay, yeah, for sure. I feel too uncomfortable and negative. Here's an interesting thing about that word uncomfortable. Why is this important for me to tell you? When you do what is comfortable, Amy, you listening to? When you're being uncomfortable, that is a big clue, because when you start to come out of ego and you start opening that spiritual mindset and you feel uncomfortable, the old you would go back and create symptoms and try to go back to what is comfortable, what is normal, what I can make my world make sense again. And the uncomfortability won't go away unless you shut it off, or you use your spirit to help you face the uncomfortability, kind of like what I'm doing today and what Amy's doing, because you will always go back to what you know. You will always go back to knowing how it worked. And then no matter how unhealthy it is, you'll go back to it because that's all you know. And you need to embrace the uncomfortability of, I'm stepping into me, and What is it I need to do? What is it I need to do? And when you begin to do just that, you will be so surprised at yourself because you're going to go, wait a minute. I'm supposed to stay in my uncomfortability. I got to learn to bring my mind into my heart and breathe. What does Spirit really want me to do besides having all of these shit things happen to me? What is going on? Where am I losing power? Okay. It's important that the uncomfortability is you choosing not to go back to your health. The transitional state alone is no fun. The transitional state alone is no fun because you're like, oh my God. And like with death, it can take up to 2 years. Moving to a very strange place can take up to 2 years without any help. Losing someone you love, they say time heals. Sometimes it could take forever. And what are you doing? You're helping you be human. You are going to stand in a situation. And yes, I'm in transition. I am aware of this. There are days you're going to say, fuck it, I'm just going to take this headache and I'm going to go to bed and I'm not getting up those 3 days. But if you were to say, I'm going to put my hand in my forehead and work through it and use the tools and listen with my heart of what really is going on. And this is why, a lot of you would need to turn around and just make an appointment with me. This is the information I would want you to come to these shows to get a card. This is the information that I would want you to allow yourself to be, because I want you to thrive instead of just exist. Because when you just thrive, you got this whole world of knowing what you're made of, enduring, anticipating, expectancy. But if you're an ego, you have to expect this. And it can be only one way. I anticipate horror and hell, impending doom. You kind of already wrote the script based on this particular programs. I want you to wake up. Very good, Michelle. She says, when I am uncomfortable, I hide and hang low. Oh, thank goodness. LaRonda found me. Woohoo. Okay. You hide and hang low. And the thing is that it is the sorrow. This is where I feel like I need to make a chart of all the faces with the words of emotions, with the definitions, because we only pick like maybe 5 emotions to define our world. And if you were to look, this is what I'm feeling. So, if, I'm uncomfortable and want to hang low. And if you can begin to recognize, I don't want to be yelled at, or I don't want criticism. And notice the energy. It's a forceful energy. It's a lofty energy. I don't want that. And it doesn't matter how freaking old you are, because your program of when it happened was little. So what? What and where have I seen this before? And and again, you can go back and say, I've seen this behavior from somebody else, and start putting the connections and the dots there. And it usually will go back to your parents or siblings or uncles or any of this. And I'm not trying to say that they're bad people. That's how we function as a human being. This is how we do things. It is just how do you want to put it? This is how we do things that children, it depends on what their code is from their soul. If their mother turns around and was just shocked and yelled at them because she didn't want them to fall off on the curb where their car is, and that child doesn't see what the mom sees, but only sees what they see, they're going to think mom's mean. But understand that perspective that child was meant to see it through was exactly what the soul set it up, so that it could look at that perspective of pain and suffering, to look at it from that particular point of view. Amy has looked at her life. Her body is really trying to tell her she has symptoms that she wants to hide, because she feels like people are repulsed by her, repulsed by the Jensen name. She feels that lofty energy. And if I said physically, it has to do with compatibility and repulsion, which is the magnetic pull or rejection that we have in our bodies, where we program ourselves to a certain extent. I would ask, what is the story about? And this goes back through many, many bloodlines, through the epigenetics. According to this, it has to do with that non-acceptance, whether it is being that person, the culture, the race. Let me ask you, did you say that the mother and father that you have now, what race or culture background did they come in with?
My adoptive parents or my biological?
Adoptive.
My dad was 100% Dane, and my mom was mostly Swede, Norwegian.
Okay, does the Swede, Norwegian, okay, the Dane, yeah. And did you say that your sister had a little bit Indian in her?
My biological sister, yes.
Okay, does that have anything to do? All right, so let's look at that side.
I just did a DNA test on myself.
Yeah.
And I am 30-some% Swedish and 26% Norwegian.
Okay.
So
just so that people understand that her biological sister is not really by the same daddy, correct?
Right.
And so that's one reason. All right. So you got to remember that it's not just also about the bloodline. And the bloodline in this case, it is the adopted one. How can that possibly be? How? She's adopted. Well, how much does she want to fit in? How much does she want to be part of that family and be loved? How many times have you looked and stared at someone's world and you start to create stories in your head, and the next thing you know, you are a part of their world, whether it's bloodline or not? She just said that the townsfolk where she lives with her adopted family, are all based on what? Oh, they don't like us. Why would she can be considered one of them? She already is picking up the broadcast messages and believing them to be true as a child. Did you ever feel like just recently you felt like you overstepped your boundaries with me at any point? See, and she's thinking, because she's like, well, now you're asking me to look at something different that I'm not used to looking at. And I'm like, very good. And you don't, it's in the questioning. I mean, hers is a big one. She has a when she gets those headaches, she goes into a -4. It has to do with being very super sensitive emotionally to the environment. So you're very super sensitive to the environment. And it has to do with something is trying to be a priority in your life as you start to grow. It's saying it doesn't need to be served, but it's still a priority. Is it just getting headaches? No. See, and this is where she is being told that she needs to pay attention because she joined my class. But one of the things that she has to look for is, Amy, have you been looking for praise and not realizing it?
I'm sure.
Have you been getting it or not getting it lately?
A little bit of both, I think.
Okay. A little bit of both.